will share with you the most powerful technique to face fears with courage and confidence. Ready? I time travel. It works every time, 100% success rate. It has completely changed my life, and I am confident it will change yours. First, like any Jedi student, we have to start with juggling some pebbles before we can lift an X-Wing. So who's ready for some work? Before you can time travel, we need to start with the present, with mindfulness. Stay with me, this is key to time travel. Don't forget what we're here for. So what does it mean to be mindful? It means becoming aware of the present moment. So your emotional and physical state, how your body feels, the sensation in your feet when you're shifting your weight, the pressure of the cushion against your body when you're sitting on the sofa, back or neck hurting when you're slouching at your computer. Sensations we typically never notice but are always there. Next is becoming aware of our emotions. How do I feel right now? Am I sad? Am I content? Am I excited? Yes. Then become aware of your thoughts. What thoughts are currently racing through your mind? What memories surface? What kind of speculations and healthy skepticism are starting to creep in? Think about it as you're watching this video. What are these thoughts? Look at all of them. Lastly, I want you to focus beyond your body. Notice what you're sensing on the outside, your surroundings. What kind of noises are you hearing? Maybe there are birds chirping. Maybe you can hear a conversation. So we did a little bit of mindfulness right now, which means you just leveled up. Leveled up. Once you notice your emotions, you can act upon them as they materialize through changing your attitude or reframing your interpretation of the situation. You can also do this by physically changing your location, your scenery. There are many ways to do this, but they all begin by first noticing that they are happening. So many times our physical state can completely transform not only how we react, but how we see everything, how we see the world, how we interpret our interactions with other people. Other times it's about our past experiences or just being blinded by bias. We all suffer from this. That's why awareness is so important. We can't control this force unless we become aware of its continuous presence, its influence on our lives, like the force. Start noticing your emotions throughout the day. When you wake up, when you encounter people, pay attention to the different things that trigger certain emotions. And in time, you will have the ability to lessen their impact or even cancel it altogether. Now you're probably thinking, what? I can't stop my emotion. I can't just switch them off. What kind of crazy stuff is that? Sam Harris, in his book Waking Up, had a wonderful example of this. Imagine you're having a fight with a spouse or a friend and you're super angry and super frustrated, and suddenly there's a phone call and it's your boss. Hi Janet, how are you? Yeah, I'm doing great. What's going on? 7 in the morning? No problem. Yeah, I'll be there. Look at that, so friendly, so diplomatic, so personable, so professional. How did you do that? You essentially switched it off. Your boss or your mom or whomever is completely innocent, that has nothing to do with this fight you're having. They're calling, and can't you switch it off in other cases? Yes, you can. And this was the first step of what we talked about. And guess what? You just leveled up. For our purposes, you'll be able to recognize when your decisions and your choices are actually influenced by fear and not a deliberate decision making. And that is the part that's really important for time travel. So you can't time travel when you don't even know what's driving your decisions. We can come up with 100 reasons to say no to something, and in reality, we're just scared. Our immediate reaction is no, no. And then we get asked why. And then we make up some story just to satisfy somebody else or ourselves. But in reality, it's just fear. This opportunity sounds interesting, but I really like what I'm doing right now. Really? How you react to changes around you. Like something angers you means the goal is not to become a robot. The goal is to slow down the process between emotion and action, creating a small window, even just a few seconds, and think before we act. So why do we need to do this? Well, people are incredibly reactive. We first react, then we make up an explanation of why we reacted. When you become better at it, you'll start feeling like Neo. Whatever is transpiring, instead of just reacting and exploding, you'll have this power to slow down, stop. It's amazing. The more you do it, the more calm and in control you will be. And you're not just dodging bullets. You stop these things from ever occurring. Congratulations, you leveled up. Once you become really, really good at it, you start not only to become aware of yourself, but also of other people and their emotional state and their reactivity. Before you know it, you are not only Neo, but you've become a much more tolerant and understanding and patient individual, better friend, a kinder family member, a more professional coworker. You start truly seeing people and you'll experience less judgment and more compassion because you know exactly what this is like. You know how hard it is to control your reactions. You know how easy and overwhelming it can be to be overcome by our emotions. In time, when you'll see people struggling or in highly emotional state, you will assume that there's something going on in their lives that you just don't know about. You really develop humility through this process. In my opinion, a moment of sincere humility is a monumental accomplishment. Imagine the accomplishment you can have in a lifetime of practice. You just leveled up. All right, so it's time. For best results, I want you to think about last time you wanted to do something and couldn't do it because you were too afraid. Some kind of opportunity or situation, and you really wanted to act, you wanted to say yes, you wanted to go for it, but you were just too scared, you couldn't do it. Pause this video and think about that day for a moment. Now imagine a new opportunity has arrived and you are completely paralyzed by fear again. Every itch of your body is saying, no, this is not for me. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go through this discomfort. Now, having practiced self-awareness for many months, you pause for a moment and you realize, hey, it's not that I don't want to do this. I'm just paralyzed by fear. I'm just afraid. I'm insecure. I'm scared of what it means. I'm scared of what might happen. I'm scared to be uncomfortable. Good. Now is the magical part. I want you to imagine that you're sitting in an audience and you're watching yourself in that moment on stage. You're watching that person. You're far away, and from that position, you can tell how nervous and insecure that person is. They're so afraid, and you just see them in that moment without any judgment, and you're just contemplating what it might mean to this person. It might be a big deal or a small one, but whatever it is, it might be a moment that you wish you had the courage to face. Then, and this is important, imagine this scene you're watching has already happened. It's in the past. You're not actually watching yourself at this moment in the present. You're watching your history on stage. And from that powerful perspective, full of wisdom and maybe a bit of hindsight bias, you think, I should have done this. It's so obvious. I knew this at the time and I know it now. I should have been more brave. I should have taken this opportunity. Now it's too late. And now this feeling that we all know and dread is starting to creep in. Regret. You sit and think, I could have done it. I should have done it. But I didn't. I was so afraid. So afraid. And now, this is the critical moment. As you're thinking about this and you feel all this regret, and all this frustration and pain and yearning, when you wish you could just go back in time, suddenly a magical door appears right in front of you. You have just been given a second chance, a way to turn it all around, a one-time opportunity. You can go through that door right now. It's now or never. All you have to do is walk through that door and you're going to go back in time to this very moment and you can do it all over again. Remember, you're not back in the present. No, you are rewriting history. your history right now. And then magic happens and you're back in time. You're right there in that moment, in this moment where you are so afraid, except now you're not afraid at all because you know the alternative. This is your chance. Who cares what'll happen? In the grand scheme of things, this is meaningless. In the future, this will feel so insignificant. Who cares? Who cares about what people will say? You're back in time, you're staring at this opportunity right in the face, and you feel nothing. That fear, gone. Why? Because you know better. You just came back from the future and you know what that feels like. All that matters is action, is taking the step, is living a life of courage. And you have that power now. You are so confident. You can do anything. You have a second chance, and now is your opportunity. You are taking that step that you never had the courage to take, and you will have no regrets because whatever happens, you did it. You were courageous. Nothing, no failure will ever diminish your bravery in this moment. Nothing can take this away from you. And with those thoughts that will unfold in your mind in a matter of seconds as you practice this, you can do anything. Anything is possible because you can time travel. I have done this during the worst, most personal moments in my life. I wish I could share those with you, but then I'll be overcome and I won't be able to. Just saying that got me choked up. I want you to know that I have plenty of regrets already. I have missed opportunities before. I have not acted. I have not always been able to control my emotions and have said things that I regret or have not said the right thing and have missed those opportunities. I have that like everybody else. But thanks to practice, I have these situations less and less. I am more brave and I regret fewer things. Before you go off changing the course of history, there are a few other things I want you to think about. First, recognize that the things we regret are the chances we did not take, are the things we didn't do. We do not typically regret failure. Number two, most of us would say that when we fail, we've learned something. We're happy we failed. Many of us would say, I wouldn't change the past. I wouldn't replace any of these horrible moments in my life because they helped me become the person I am today. But when it comes to fear, all we'll learn is more fear. So failure is not a problem. You want to fail. The point is to act. These YouTube videos are me acting. If I don't succeed, whatever, I won't regret it. I would only regret not having tried and giving it my best shot. So now what? What do you do with all this time travel skills? Well, have goals and follow them in a right way without going mad. And you need to develop a growth mindset.